Okay, hello, I'm Anne. I'm a writer, and this is a writing vlog. I'm going to be working on my Cozy Romantasy today. It is a cute little sapphic thing with lots of magic, and it's just like a really fun, like, Halloween project. But I am editing it. I'm currently on chapter 5. I've gone around about halfway through chapter 5, and hopefully by the end of this vlog, hopefully I've finished chapter 5 and hopefully made some good progress into chapter 6. But once I finish chapter 5, I'll have to type it up. So that's also going to be kind of a big job, which it always ends up being. This chapter is kind of long. I chose these chapters in a way that I think made them so they're kind of inconsistent in length. I kind of was just like, this is a place that things change. So the length is a bit questionable. I also added so much random stuff, but we're finally at the point where I can delete it because we're rewriting this all. We're rewriting so much of this. It's kind of crazy. I ran out. I used all of the ink in one of my pens, which means I had to switch to a different ink. I'm still using like a purple ink, but it should be fun. We're at the point where we're deleting a lot of stuff, so wish me luck. It's sad though, because I really like a lot of their like banter. It's just very cute. But once I finish chapter 5, I'll officially be over halfway through it. I think, chapter wise, we'll see. I don't know if we're halfway through it like word wise, but we're halfway through it once we get to finish chapter 5, which is very exciting. And then I can just make sure to go and finish everything else, and it will be super easy, right? Super easy, super straightforward. I'll finish it like easy peasy, right? That's how this works. Writing is always fast and easy. It never takes longer than you expect it to. Anyways, I'll come back probably tomorrow, maybe later, give you an update on where I've gone with it so far, and it should be fun. I have things that I need to say. So this is the next day. You can see I'm wearing my big fluffy sweater, okay? It's not reasonable. I try not to wear it outside because it's like, you can tell it's really fluffy, but I'm probably gonna wear it outside today because it is respectable. It's just, it has stars and moons on it, and it's really fluffy. Yes, it's the next day compared to when I talked to you last, but there is something really important that we need to talk about, and okay, important in the way that I think things are important. So, I've been running into issues. This is always a thing that tends to happen with me when I'm like editing or like writing at all, is I get really in my head. I start like overthinking everything. I'm like, oh no, it's terrible. And it's just like a little bit too much for me. And I get overwhelmed by it because it's like, it just feels sad. It's part of the reason why I like writing by hand, because it gives me a reason to basically go and like, I write like a first draft by hand and then I get to type it up, and when I type it up I can make it prettier, and that like reminds me of like the fun parts that I really enjoy about writing. But I always find the most difficult part of any writing project for me personally is like, the first draft is fun and then editing is fun, but the main issue that I always have, the main problem I always run into with editing is when I've done my reverse outline, so I don't have an outline for the first draft, so I can just run with it wherever I want. Then the second draft I have an outline, and so I have these ideas of scenes that need to get like included in the story in order for it to kind of make sense. And adding those scenes, writing these like full new scenes, or like going into like a scene I've already written and being like, oh, I'm crossing out most of this and just rewriting from there, that's always really difficult for me, because it's like free writing, but you're like within the containers of the space you've already made, and I always find that difficult, which is relevant because that's what I'm doing now. So like, if you want to see the silliness, okay, so you see that the entire page is crossed out, and then I'm just like writing a new scene. Let me show you the previous page for context. Okay, you see this? I don't know if you can see this. This entire page, except for like, I think a couple sentences, is crossed out, and then I've just written entirely new. So, that is the current stage I'm in with my writing, and I think these next ones will be changed too. There's this one scene that I think I might end up cutting, but I really don't want to because it's one of my favorite scenes. Because they're just so silly. Like, okay, let me just... It's just like wordplay. It is so silly and I love it. So I don't want to get rid of it. But what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm probably just going to go through... My plan is to just go through and just edit it. Like line edits. Not think about developmental, not think about what I would change, just straight up line edits. And once I'm done with that, I'm just gonna like type it up into my Word document and I'm just gonna fit it in somewhere, okay? It will fit somewhere. I will force it to fit. I don't care where it goes, it fits somewhere. Which is fine. I'll just like wiggle things around. It would be so funny though, because I probably won't do too much else other than that. I really do need to do like a second round of edits because so much of this is just rewritten. When I give it to my friend to read, I'm so curious if like he'll be like, that's a little bit off. Like it's just like, ooh, what a jump, what a strange jump. But yeah, I'm struggling a bit now. I think I need to take the time to like go ahead and type it up. Like I've kind of gotten bogged down by all the technicalities of like editing and writing and like editing within a box. And I just like, my only goal for the next section is going to be whimsy. It's just a whimsy. Just make it whimsical. So yeah, and I think that would be really fun. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it very like whimsical, and I think I'm just gonna lean into that as hard as I possibly can, and that'll just make the whole like process a lot of fun. So I'm just gonna keep writing. Wish me luck. Okay, so I have returned. Anyways, that doesn't matter. What matters is I finished chapter 5. Oh my gosh, like searching for like whimsy and just going straight for whimsy and dodging everything else. It worked. It worked. It's here. We're done. We did it. We did it. We got we wrote all the whimsy and that was wonderful and that made me really want to write more. And then I got to edit the tea scene and that tea scene remained almost completely intact, which I'm kind of shocked about, but I love it so much. They're so silly and I don't care. I don't care. It's wonderful. But now they're going into chapter 6, which is like where things really start getting going. That's kind of like, you know, we've had all the build up and now the stuff is actually happening. And then we just have chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8, and then chapter 9. Chapter 9 is going to be really fun to write just because I made some changes in the draft, not the draft, in the outline, which are going to be so silly. They're going to be so silly. And I have nothing else to say right now. I just wanted to inform you of this exciting moment where like we did it. Oh my gosh. I'm very pleased. You can tell, but I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased. But wait, let me show you chapter 5. Look at it, look at it, look at this beauty. Don't you love the giant X's? That's how you know progress is being made. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. It's so weird because I literally just came on here to record this tiny little segment and I got so distracted. I'm just so glad. I'm so glad I got to keep the tea scene. It is my favorite scene of this entire novella. So I'm very excited about that. Oh, goodness. Hello again. I'm probably going to be a bit more chill because I don't know if people can hear me. I don't think they can. Just in case, we're probably going to be a bit more chill about things. This is an update of what's been going on recently. Basically, the sort of progress. I've started chapter 6. I've been running through it. I haven't made it super far because I got like a couple pages in and then I was like, oh no, I was going to add a new scene here to explain. I figured out a reason. Okay, so I was talking about this, but like my familiar, like at some point the main character's familiar kind of just disappears for no reason, and I realized that it was because I forgot about them. But yeah, I forgot about the main character's familiar, and so he just like disappears at some point. I was like, oh shoot. But I've gotten to the point where I explain why he's not there, and it's so fun. It's honestly so fun. I really love the reason why. Yeah, I'm actually, it's exciting. I'm running through my pens. Look at that, look at that. There's only a little bit of ink left, and then I get to move to a different pen. I'm running through them because I did a silly thing, which we're not talking about here, but I want to have a lot of empty pens just so I can add new ink to them. We're gonna like strategize a bit better, I think, this time. But I've been having fun. Just as an update, I have not typed up any of chapter 5. I've not been feeling it. I feel like I'm gonna have to, in order for me to do it, I'm gonna have to record myself doing it, because otherwise I just don't get the like willpower and desire to do so. After this, it gets kind of weird. They kind of lose a lot of the silliness. But one thing I wanted to talk about is that I think I have discovered like the voice of this project, which is a really silly thing to say when you're about like 13,000, 14,000 words into the second draft of the project. But I think I've figured it out. It's like I've realized what I really want to express with this project, which is really like whimsy and like silliness and just like people just having fun, like existing and moving forward. So that's my joy right now. I'm really pleased. I think the voice is actually like it's pretty solid at the beginning, and it just took me a while to like put what it is in words, which is always a little bit more difficult than actually doing the thing. But then once I have it in words, I can do it like purposefully, and then it actually gets like a lot more better. It gets a lot and then it gets a lot better, and it's a lot more like consistent throughout, because I know sort of what I'm going for and the tone. So I'm very pleased with that, very happy. And I'm gonna go make them do really silly things. They're gonna be absolutely